Rejoining us now is financial markets analyst Mitch Firestein and senior market strategist Mark Lopresti. So, Mitch, the president posted on Truth Social, quote, United States Supreme Court case is literally life and death for our country. He sees this as a matter of national security, as he says right there. That's a big part of his argument. And I'm arguing he's the first one to do it for national security, not just economic reasons.
Well, look, I think it's really important that the Supreme Court comes up with a ruling on this. But as equally important, I think that what they need to clarify is the power of these district road judges in order to stop an agenda from going forward. The tariff thing is really important. We've got probably close to $200 billion that's come in already, and it will be well over that by the end of the year, which if you look at the historical averages, I think the tariffs have been between 25 and 40 billion a year for the past 15 or 20 years. So this can be a significant gain for people to have this done. What they'll rule, we don't know, but it would be difficult for them to unwind the mess that they have right now because all the other deals were based upon the tariffs. It's a carrot and stick, very important. I think it is national security for us.
Yeah, Mark, what's your take on these tariffs?
Well, first of all, the president, under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA, as it's lovingly referred to, gives the president pretty broad discretion to impose tariffs and take action like tariffs. It's not the only tool in the toolkit that the president has under this legislation. And here's the issue for SCOTUS. This is a question of discretion. It's not a question or a clear-cut interpretation of whether something is constitutional in other types of facts and circumstances. Where the Supreme Court is asked to call on whether or not discretion, the exercise of a power, is discretionarily proper, it really starts to get thorny here. And I think that that's what a lot of folks are going to be looking to see, how much the court is going to want to lean in. Oftentimes, when it's a question of evaluating discretion, they punt, they pass. And the other thing I'll point out is, even if SCOTUS comes back with a ruling against the president, determining that he did exceed his authority with these tariffs, the game's not over. There are at least 4 other pieces of legislation, 4 other bills under the Trade Expansion Act and the Trade Powers Act that the president can point to maintain these tariffs.
We were talking to Judge Napolitano in our last hour about this, and if the Supreme Court rules against the president retroactively, they got to figure out how to refund all this money. How on earth would you do that?
I don't think that'll happen. That's because it would cause too much disruption to the economy. It would be bad for everybody involved, including the court. So that I don't think will happen. I think that they'll come out with some sort of ruling that's a compromise between what's happened and what will happen. However, I think it's really important that the president has the discretion to do this, and we don't have radicals in robes in the district courts. Obstruction, corruption, and destruction is the new party name for the Democrats, because it seems that's what happens. With every piece of legislation, they throw a roadblock up. And for the economy to get better from the dumpster fire that we had for the past 4 years, we need to get through it. And this is one of the ways that will really help with the new trade deals with all these countries that were taking advantage of us for decades.
Yeah, Mark and Mitch, we'd love to, we could talk about this all morning long. President cut into us a little bit here this morning, although it's always his prerogative. So thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.